Welcome everybody to Till Death Do We Play, where marriage and video games are the perfect union. I am Andy. I am joined as always by my wife Allie.
Hello.
And this is where we talk video games, announcements, games, headlines, all that stuff. But this week we got a ton of drama. We're a drama podcast this week. We got a lot of stuff going on in the gaming world.
Unfortunately.
We're not going to spill the tea because the tea has already been spilled, but we're just going to kind of roll around in it and talk about it.
That sounds kind of nasty.
Yeah, and you know what I was thinking about when I was getting the notes together for this podcast? I was like, dang, first episode was Last of Us, second episode was Last of Us, and then this episode's all this horrible stuff that's happening. Like, when are we going to do some fun stuff? So I'm going to try to...
What's the next good game that's coming out?
I had to sprinkle in some fun news at the end of this because it couldn't just be a downer the whole time. Anyways.
Fair point. So which piece of drama in particular would you like to get started with? Because I won't lie, the last 2 weeks have been pretty intense.
Yeah, and I put it pretty much in chronological order of the events that I saw it happen. So I figured, and what we have like the most info on, I guess. So I guess we'll start right at the top. So Dr. Disrespect, we'll talk about him for a little bit. He is probably the most popular streamer on Twitch.
Nah, I don't think I'd go that far.
Really? You think so?
That spot belongs to Ninja.
Yeah, but Ninja switched over to Mixer. You remember?
Yeah, but Mixer's now dead.
Yeah, but regardless.
Well, it's going to be dead by the end of this month, I believe.
Dr. Disrespect seemed like Twitch's like staple boy for the last couple months. And he would bring in gigantic numbers. I remember his return stream, which like I'm not a fan of Dr. Disrespect because we'll get into that in a couple minutes, but like he took a large break from Twitch. Not really large, but like a short break a couple months ago. And then when he returned, he had like 350,000 people watching him. But
yeah,
in the last couple weeks, he mysteriously was banned from Twitch, and people still don't know why. I was hoping that we'd have some kind of information that we could talk about it, but
it was 1 week yesterday.
Yeah,
yesterday being Friday. So
yeah,
he was
okay.
banned
So
1 week.
I was hoping we'd have some kind of information, but still nothing out about it. So yeah, let's talk about the actual banning, what we know so far and everything. Maybe we could speculate on it a little bit. I don't know. That might lead us into why I actually don't like the guy. So his last stream was really, really weird. The stream right before he was banned. But basically he finished up his games, and he's known for playing like shooters and battle royale games. He's doing a lot of Warzone, and he still does Fortnite and things like that. But yeah, his last stream, he put on this video of Roblox, and I don't know, I'm not really an avid watcher of him. I don't know if he puts that on as like a joke at the end of his streams or something like that, but he just had a random Roblox video playing, and he looked at his phone, and then he got all upset, and he was like, "We'll get through this," and he calls his audience the Champions Club, and he's like, "We'll get through this, champions." Well, and then he like, I think he dropped like an F-bomb, and then he just ended the stream, and then the next day it came out that his page was banned, and nobody knows why. He was suspended, I believe, a year ago because he was streaming at E3, and he went into the bathroom at E3, and he was suspended for a little bit, and then he came back.
He was suspended for 2 weeks because of that, and It was like a really big deal because how could you not realize that you should not live stream in a public bathroom?
Yeah, and
like, common sense
something
here.
tells me that he's the type of guy who like this like level of celebrity gets to his head, and he just kind of wants to get the content, and no matter how like weird the situation could be, you know, it's like obviously that's a red flag. You don't bring a live camera into a bathroom, but you know.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. So and even before that, he was like semi-canceled. It was weird because it came out that he had an affair at it was like TwitchCon or some kind of a gaming convention. So that came out, and that was a couple years ago, and he took a long break from Twitch, and then he came back, and that's when he came back to like the 350,000 people watching him and everything. And people are speculating that it might be something to that extent, but he was never banned when he did that the first time. And
well, as morally apprehensible as it is to cheat, it is not an illegal act, nor is it one that warrants being banned.
Yeah.
It's just a really crappy thing to do.
So it leads me to believe that this was something more legal on the end of like his deal with Twitch. I don't know if something happened there's rumors going around that he had like some kind of deal with either Mixer or this random new streaming platform that they don't even have a website yet. It's called like Bream or something. Brime? Or I think it's Brime, you said? You were telling me about it?
Well, so initially there was like a thing that Keemstar had posted where it was from 4chan, so you automatically know, oh boy, this is gonna totally be legitimate.
4chan and Keemstar. What a great combination.
Yeah.
Two of the worst things in the world.
It was supposedly a whole thing where he was making deals with Ninja and Shroud, even though like they don't get along. And they were apparently in talks with a Spotify Google combination that was going to be making a new streaming service for gamers. And Twitch found out, and now there's legal things and NDAs and blah, blah, blah. And they can't talk about it until Monday. Well, Monday came and passed for when it was revealed, and it's still a complete mystery for what actually happened.
Part of me thinks like that this service is called Brime, and if you go to YouTube or if you go to its Twitter, it's like we don't have a site yet. They literally say that in the bio. It's like I wonder if this is just some kind of weird social experiment. Seeing how many people get to follow. It's like, yeah, it's not even a thing.
I kind of am thinking it won't be a thing, or if it is a thing, then I don't really picturing it being a real competitor to Twitch.
No.
Because I know they did a Q&A on Monday when the 4chan thing said, oh, it's going to be all announced on Monday. Well, they did a Q&A, and they didn't talk about Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, or Ninja or anything. They said, yeah, we're not really associated with them. We are run by 4 people. Basic things where it sounds like... It almost kind of sounds like No Man's Sky expectations that people placed on this random platform that just popped up in June because it had timing. So I think they were just a group who said, you know what, now would be the perfect time to jump in on this. But, you know, it really could just be like a new streaming service. But it's just, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not very technologically savvy, but I can't imagine a team ran of 4 people will really be able to stand a chance against Twitch.
Yeah, especially after everything that Microsoft appeared to put in a Mixer in the last year, like not hiring, but like signing all these huge streamers like Ninja and Shroud, just to name a few. I think they also got Ewok and some other guys, and it seemed like there was like, I think they went through some kind of like re-image, or there was like more stuff that was like coming to the site or something like that. Like it seemed like they had big plans, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, and
the fun thing with that was apparently from some articles, even the people who work at Mixer didn't find out that it was closing until it was announced.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of hard not to see it like a flip on Microsoft's part. It's like, I feel like they were trying to like flip a house or something. Like they had this streaming platform. They realized that they didn't want to keep it forever, so they kind of prettied it up, got some stars in it, and sold it to Facebook. They sold Mixer at a huge profit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It kind of really screwed a ton of people over, but yeah, I don't know. But getting back over to Dr. Disrespect, some people were thinking, you know, obviously, I don't think it was anything where he was like misbehaving to another person or something like that. I think it was legal issues between his contract and Twitch, whatever it was, because yeah, he was outed for that a couple years ago, and then he just came back. And also his wife posted on Twitter or Instagram or something saying like, thank you guys for all this support, but I just want to say something to that extent. She took him back the first time, which is like, you know, that happening is basically like saying you don't know what he did now. Because I don't know how, like, I don't know where her loyalties lie. If she's just doing it just to, you know, latch on to him and his, you know, success or whatever. But I mean, if I was in that position with you, I would want you to, you know, bail, Allie. Like, I wouldn't want you, you know.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think he's. Well, I mean, maybe he had another affair, but I don't think that's the reason for why he would be banned. I think as far as how the situation is going down, it's not being handled very well because both Twitch and Dr. Disrespect to an extent. Well, no, actually, no. Dr. Disrespect says that Twitch has not given him the, like, official reason for his ban. But I think it's bad on Twitch's part because everything is being left so open that it really is a situation of what the heck did he do to get
It's so weird, yeah.
permabanned? Yeah. Like, it's just a thing. There's the current Me Too conversation that is happening on Twitter that's involving a lot of Twitch people, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people in the gaming industry as a whole. So a lot of people are automatically assuming he must have, like, raped someone or sexually assaulted someone or maybe he killed someone. And there's all these guesses of people just assuming the immediate absolute worst because if it's not something incredibly bad, why wouldn't they be talking about it?
Yeah.
And then you have a few people who are like, I know what happened and I'm not going to tell anyone, just know that it's bad. And it's like, well, what the hell? Why even bring it up if you're not going to tell us?
Yeah, I think that's another thing I saw Keemstar say. It was like, I have proof. Someone gave me proof, and they said they don't feel comfortable sharing it at this time. It's like, well, that's not proof then. That's just some idiot talking, you know?
Yeah, that's just someone looking for some attention, not going to lie.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really bad on Twitch's part because it's like, so Twitch has this really big issue of being very opaque or having no transparency at all when it comes to a lot of their policies.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this kind of just doubles down on the whole thing where people are like, please be more transparent. And Twitch says, okay, we will. And then they just don't at all. And then whenever anybody is like, well, what happened? They just say,
Yeah. I mean, for him to literally be banned with no warning when we're just coming off of the whole Alinity thing with the, people are coming here to events recently and all this other stuff, but she and this is, months away, so this isn't even news anymore. But this girl, Alinity, she's a streamer on Twitch. She, like, abused her animals in the past, and she recently exposed herself during a stream, and she wasn't banned. She took a 3-day self-imposed suspension or something like that. So for something like that, to where, like, a huge streamer could expose herself to thousands of people and not get banned, for him to get banned with no question, it just raises a bunch more, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, the whole situation is so confusing.
It's something where it's like, it was so bad that this girl who can abuse her animals, show off her bits, nothing happens to her at all.
Yeah.
But you have people that do, like, tasteful body painting, insta ban. Like, they're knocked off for, like, nudity or indecency, something like that.
She yeeted her cat because it got in front of her when she was playing Apex. Apex isn't even a good game. It's just like it's not worth a yeet.
Now, if it was Call of Duty, though, huh? That's another story.
You get those kill streaks. Anyways, so that about wraps up Dr. Disrespect. I mean, we got on a whole other subject while talking about him, and that's really anything anybody knows about him. So we'll go on to the next horrible thing that happened in the last week.
Well, was this banning really that horrible?
No, but it was like, yeah, you got me there. It's like, I don't know. It's
I mean, it's definitely unique and, well, I don't know. I guess it could actually be viewed as horrible because it kind of shows a lack of transparency. Once again.
Yeah.
Twitch.
I mean, yeah.
Get your act together. You keep saying you're going to show some transparency in your policies, and yet here you go, being the exact opposite again.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess I could say not horrible, but...
well, this news is horrible, though.
Downer news. Yeah, this is definitely some horrible stuff. Yeah, so as Ali mentioned earlier, there's the Me Too movement is making its rounds through the gaming community. I mean, it has in the past, but this week was like a bomb exploded. So many people came forward, and the particular list of people that we have here is from one community in the gaming world, and that's the fighting game community, specifically Smash Brothers. Just because so many people involved in Smash Brothers came forward, and it's just shocking to me because it's like you have this like hub of people who get together a couple times a year for tournaments and stuff. And I mean, it's not like it's 20 people. Like there's like a couple thousand people there. It's just this like concentrated bubble of people, and you don't realize that this stuff is probably happening. And then one person comes forward, and then all these other people start coming forward, and it's like, wow, all this stuff was happening at these tournaments, in this one space. It was shocking. But we'll start with the big one. EVO, the Evolution Fighting Tournament, it was canceled this year. They already switched over to an online format because of Corona, but it was just flat out canceled. I think that was actually supposed to be going on this weekend, and the CEO was just accused of sexually harassing underage boys in the 90s.
What's the name of the tournament?
EVO, as it stands for Evolution. They did release a statement. I don't know if you want me to read that or just kind of summarize what's going on.
No, you can read their statement.
Yeah, they released a statement over the past 24 hours in response to serious allegations recently made public on Twitter. We have made the first of a series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey Kuehler will no longer be involved with EVO in any capacity. We are currently working towards his complete separation from the company and have relieved him of all of his responsibilities. Going forward, Tony Cannon will act as CEO. In this position, he will take leadership role in prioritizing greater accountability across EVO, both internally and at our events. Progress doesn't happen overnight, and without the bravery of those who speak up against misconduct and injustice, we are shocked and saddened by these events, but we are listening and committed to making every change that will be necessary and making EVO a better model for the stronger, safer culture we all seek. As a result, we will be canceling EVO Online and will work to issue refunds for all players who choose to purchase a badge. We will donate the equivalent of the proceeds as promised to Project Hope. So, I mean, you have to remember that it's not these companies, it's toxic individuals within these companies. EVO is definitely taking steps to making things better, like they mentioned. They're making a nice little donation there. And they're cutting ties with this guy. So yeah, he did some really messed up stuff in the 90s, back when arcades were a huge thing. He would, I was reading a little into it. He would like give kids tokens to like jump in pools with just in their underwear. It was messed up stuff, really messed up. It gets even worse than that, but I don't know how deep we want to jump into that.
I think the main takeaway from it is like these weren't like. These were kids who were literally like, 12 to 15?
Yeah, those kids in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just stuff like he was doing to basically like teenagers, and it's horrible. They're not like 6 or 7 year olds, but they're still kids, and this guy's just being a full on predator towards them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this is a person who's also holding events where, let's be honest, you're going to have people that are very serious about it, but you're also going to have kids at these events because they love the games.
Yeah. I mean, he's holding events that these same events are where all this other stuff has apparently happened. You know, not everything that I have here happened at specifically Evo. It was other fighting game tournaments and stuff. But like, how can you be accountable for all of these people attending your tournaments when you yourself are acting like this, or are known for this kind of behavior? It's disgusting.
But also, shame on the people who apparently knew. Like, this wasn't a dude from at least the one allegation that you had showed me in the twit longer. There were people that knew he was doing this kind of crap, and they were apparently fine with it.
That's a common thing I've seen in a couple of these accusations, is that the person who was involved in this would go and talk to someone about it, and when it comes out and they show proof and everything, they show these conversations like, well, this person knew about it, and they're, in my opinion, they're as responsible, like they had a responsibility there and they failed. Mentioning that, we could go over to the Narrow controversy, which is shocking. This kid, he was a kid. He's been on the scene for a couple of years, but I remember watching a tournament a couple of years ago, and he won, and they were like, "Who is this Narrow kid?" And it might be pronounced Nairo. I don't know. To be honest, if we get a little deep, I don't really watch Smash Ultimate. I watch Melee.
Let's put it this way: if you're a pedophile, I don't give a shit how your name is supposed to be pronounced.
Exactly, and that's exactly what this kid turned out to be. It came out that someone in another twit longer, he said, I was 15, Nero was 20, and I did all this stuff with him, and it's like, and he posted a bunch of Discord conversations with a guy whose face is redded out, but I couldn't even get through the whole thing. It was horrible. And this guy's going along and he's like, oh God, this is extra juicy. This is crazy. And it's like, yeah, this happened. A 15-year-old kid did this to a 20-year-old. So you're saying pedophilia is juicy. It's sickening, So I don't think this guy, and this Captain Zach who was the one who was involved with Nero, he was like, I don't want to cancel Nero. I just want to, I can't live with this anymore. And it's like, well, one, he should be canceled because he is a pedophile. And two, whether you like it or not, he's getting canceled. It's not like you're going to be able to say all this stuff and save his reputation. Not saying his reputation should be saved. This guy is disgusting, Well,
the one thing I will say is I don't really believe anybody when they say, this person has assaulted me or raped me or whatever the situation is for them, and then they say, I don't want them to be canceled. I don't know if it's just to avoid the backlash from the person's fans.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen.
Yeah. And in this particular case, it's so weird saying this because you're talking about a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old. Nero didn't rape him, but he committed it. He did it. He went along with it. So that's pedophilia. If anything, the conversations that this guy shared, this Captain Zach, he said, he pursued him, and he was like pretty aggressive in pursuing this guy, and then he got what he wanted, and so yeah, that's just. It was shocking to see because this kid, Nero, literally came on the scene when he was a child, and now he's a pedophile. And he went on Twitter, and he eventually and he also PayPal'd this Captain Zach guy $2,000 to keep quiet about it. But then he was like, I can't live like this anymore. I have to say it and everything like that. Which, whatever. Because if you're paying someone a large amount of money to not tell people you're a pedophile, the world should know faster that you're a pedophile.
That's bribery.
Yeah, exactly.
But from what I'm seeing, he apparently first said he didn't do it, but then later deleted it and rewrote an apology.
Yeah, he denied it first, and then he came back and was basically like, he gave the whole spiel like, oh, I failed everyone. I'm going to take some time to reflect. And it's like, dog, take as much time as you need to reflect. You're going to be on the watch list for the rest of your life. Okay?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, so it really doesn't matter. You're sick. Yeah, that was a little shocking one to hear. There's another Smash player that I'm not really familiar with, Puppe, and he was like 14, and it turned out that a commentator, Senpai, again, someone I'm not really familiar with, was 24, and they were doing stuff. And it came out that, that happened, and to at the time of this recording, Senpai hasn't said anything to it specifically, but it's just another thing. It's like, dude.
Well, I think this one's a little interesting too because usually a lot of these Me Too movements have been involving a female with, a male assaulter.
Yeah.
And with this one, it seems like it's the reverse.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 24-year-old woman taking advantage of a 14-year-old boy.
And just as a quick thing, because a lot of people seem like, oh, that's fine. He was 14. He's just, he's living every man's dream. They always want to be with an older woman. I'm going to say right now, screw that mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
She's still a pedophile. This is still statutory rape.
It's
not okay.
It's the whole thing where it's like, it comes out that a teacher's doing that with one of her students, and all the, like, freaking backwards guys are like, oh yeah, it's what every kid wants. No, it's not. No, that'll mess a kid up. All right, and well,
every single time in like our local news on Facebook, because of course I follow my news on Facebook.
Yeah, you don't want to look at the comment section of the news.
I was just going to say that as soon as you click into the comments and it's something where like a high school teacher had sexual intercourse with her 12 to 14-year-old student, there's always at least two guys in there going like, yeah, getting it early.
Yeah, you're not seeing it from the other perspective of it's a mid-20s to mid-30s person doing this with a 12-year-old, It's
it's the fact that the kid's 12, 14, 16. He is a child.
Yeah.
This is not okay, and you should not be making jokes about it.
Yeah. So I'm glad that this one is getting the same amount of attention. Just because the roles are reversed doesn't mean anything's different.
It's still rape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think I see in the one TwitLonger post, one of the lines says, our sexual relationship escalated as far as oral sex, but never as far as sexual intercourse. It's still rape, my dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that this 24-year-old creature decided that this was an okay thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, again, she didn't release any kind of statement on this. Hopefully something happens in the future. Another
Hopefully
person,
something legally happens in the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, seriously. And going back to Nero, I like this guy. I should see him on a list. Same thing with this person, Yeah, talking about this, something that, there's another one. D1 is another commentator that I knew a lot about. I thought he was a great commentator. Apparently it came out that him and someone else got blackout drunk at one of the tournaments. The person came to when they were blacked out and they were having sex. And he came out and apologized and said, I have no recollection of this. I shouldn't have gotten so drunk and all this other stuff. And
I'm a little iffy on.
Yeah, this is a weird one because... it's one thing if you get someone blackout drunk and you abuse them that way when you're sober, when two people are blackout drunk. And, this is such a weird one to even touch.
So here's why this is one where I may be of the unpopular opinion among some people and also an unpopular opinion with the other for different reasons. So for this one, reading through the victim's TwitLonger, she mentions how she had just turned 18. They hung out a bit beforehand. She got blackout drunk. He got blackout drunk. Stuff happened. She woke up once during it, and she says that she would have been fine with it until she was hearing that he had bragged to others that, they did the deed.
Okay.
And
so there's something right there. If he bragged about it, he should have had some kind of recollection about it, shouldn't he?
Well, so that's where it gets a little shady, because on his side, he's saying he also was blackout drunk, and he didn't remember any of it, and he had to ask people about what had happened, but he does recall having, done the deed. So I feel like this is where we have two people where either one or both aren't being fully honest. And here's where my unpopular opinion will come in. So I know in Twitter, there's a lot of people that say, support the victims, believe the victims, stand by them. And I am all for that. All the people where they're issuing apologies, screw you, you're a monster. Mm-hmm. I don't care how many times you apologize. You did a messed up thing. You deserve no apologies, and you deserve whatever horrible things are heading your way because of this. But I cannot support the people who say, no matter what, you 100% need to believe the victims. Because in my own personal experience, I have known three people who have lied about these situations. Mm-hmm. I know one person who has lied about 3 different men, 2 of which she had dated previously, would brag about how wonderful their sex lives were, and then as soon as they would break up, she would claim that they raped her each and every time that they did it. The other 2, one of them said that they had been touched by a guy, and it actually went into like court and all that stuff. And the third one hopped in on that, saying that he had touched her too. And considering it was on school grounds where there's a whole lot of other people there who said, you're lying, like, it's unfortunate that you have people who lie about this. And I know one of the people in the Smash communities has actually been able to prove his innocence, and the person is doubling down saying that he did it. What was his name? Chilled Chaos?
Yeah, he's not in the Smash community. He's just a content creator. Yeah,
oh,
so he's.
Right.
I have him under. Yeah, it might be confusing the way that we have our document. I have him under all the Smash Bros. People, but he's kind of on his own thing. But yeah.
Well, he's still someone where he has someone that is accusing him of it, and he's saying, no, I didn't. Here's proof. And she's saying, well, no, you did it because clearly, you could have like burner accounts or things like that. Because of course, that's the first thing that anybody who is going to decide to rape someone will do. I'm going to pick her and I'm going to randomly decide to fly her out here with me. Like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
But also Angry Joe. He was someone who, when the first wave was coming through, he had someone say that he apparently did something to her, and he said, screw you, I'm getting my lawyer involved. Mm-hmm. So it's terrible that there are people that make it to where it's very hard to see every single allegation, and without there being proof of some kind, believing them. Because I think even you had an issue with this before, where someone was lying.
Oh yeah, it's high school stuff. I dated a girl in 9th grade, and we broke up because it was a little puppy love stuff, and I wanted to go home and play Call of Duty, and I don't know how deep I want to get into this. My school was very weird. The boys were all, a tight-knit group of gamers. The girls were a tight-knit group of people, the girls...
Whatever girls do.
Yeah, but it was weird. The roles were kind of reversed. The guys would all go hang out and play games and stuff, and the girls would go and drink. And it was it was weird. Like, I graduated in a class of 20 people. I had a very small class. But yeah, when I was in 9th grade, I found out that this girl that I broke up with was saying that I was at some party and I did something to her, and I was like, first of all, she tried saying that in a class, like I didn't have 20 people in that class. I had when I was in 9th grade, I think we had 7 people in our class because it
grew from there.
Yeah. She tried saying that to a group of 7 people, and I'm pretty sure that weekend I was playing Halo 3 at my friend's house. And I was like, you understand that you're trying to spread rumors, of something that's impossible. And needless to say, everybody knew she was lying, and she actually didn't make it in that school to 10th grade. She transferred out because she was a toxic, horrible person. But yeah, no, and it just, you could kind of see the comparisons from that and this. It's stupid little things that high schoolers do. And it's, some people who, when it's coming out that people are getting accused and these accusers are innocent and they're actually able to prove their innocence, it's, you could see that the people who are accusing them are just these high school kids that never grew out of this attention-seeking mindset,
Only now they're doing it on such a scale
huge level
that this is affecting lives. This is something that here's the thing, and the best way to go about this is I'm going to start off by saying the American justice system is completely screwed.
Yeah. Dang, we're hitting some like areas on this podcast.
Well, here's why, because I have to go through this. You have people all the time where they will go to officers and they will submit rape kits and everything, and they just mysteriously go missing, or you have judges that say you deserve it, or you have people, once again, usually judges, tell the rapist, you look like a good person. Brock Turner, screw him.
Yep.
And it's very hard for people to feel like they can go to the police with these things, but you have to. The law is there to ensure that there is... Let me back up. The law is supposed to be there to protect victims on both sides. Mm-hmm. Because you have people who lie about things that happen, and you have people who literally do absolutely terrible things.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, you can't have a mob be the judge, juries, and executioners.
Yeah.
It's happening, and I don't really see it ending well. I see innocent people potentially not being able to back up the fact that they haven't done something. And it might not be a person who has the financial capabilities of hiring a lawyer. And I don't want to see that happen. I want to see actual victims get the resolution that they need or the consequences dished out that are deserved. But I don't want to see innocent people getting caught up because some little snot decides, I want this person to be canceled too. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a twit longer. Yeah. And that's what's happening. And that's why I did it in that voice, because they are disgusting pieces of existence.
And, the person who's doing this to Chilled Chaos, and just to give a background on Chilled Chaos, he's a streamer and YouTuber. He was part of the Creatures and this Derp crew. I don't know. I think this was some early gaming YouTube community or like groups, I never followed him. I've heard of him through other channels and things like that. He seems like a pretty solid guy. And he obviously has the proof to back up that he's not a horrible person. So I'm all for him. But going back to what you said, compared to some high schooler saying this to a group of 7-10 kids, compared to him, this is his life, and he has 700,000 followers on Twitter. This is how he makes his living. Apparently the allegations started, or the allegations say that it started in 2013 when this person was 12, which would make them 19 now, which...
18. She actually said in her Twitlonger or whatever she commented on that she just turned 18.
She just turned 18. Okay, so she is a child. Not legally a child, but in her mind is that of a child. She doesn't understand what these false allegations are doing to this person who's worked for the last 7 years and has built something that he could sustain his life on. And, I wouldn't say this at a blind allegation. I'm saying this because he's shown the proof that this is clearly false. So she has no idea what her lies could potentially do to someone. And that's absolutely disgusting. She doesn't know,
or maybe she does, and she's a psycho.
Well, yeah, it's either that, or she just doesn't know what the real world is. She thinks,
well, she's about to find out, or at least her parents are gonna whip that into her.
I like his one response. See if I can pull it up quick. He was basically like, "This is the last thing that I'm saying on this." And oh no, it wasn't the last thing he posted. I think it was just another thing. Yeah, he said, I hope her parents are proud of her. It's going to be an awkward conversation for them to find out. Yeah, that's honestly the truth. It's probably some person who their parents don't know what they're doing on the internet, and all of a sudden they're going to get a court summons saying that they're being sued for libel, and they're
well, she will be. If she's 18, she technically can be sued now. Her parents will not need to assume responsibility.
She was
17 though.
Yeah, she doesn't have any kind of protection on this, or insurance or anything that's going to be able to cover this. She's going to be screwed, and she did it to herself. But yeah, I'm happy that we have one of these cases, one of these stories where the person could clearly say, this is false, and I have all the proof to do it. And the proof that he's getting is he's saying, like, he has his he's providing his bank statements, his PayPal statements, the hotel reservations. He called the hotel saying, "Get me the reservations for 2013 for everything that was under my name," which was just one room for him and his friends. He's
gotten himself covered.
Oh yeah, one of the biggest things was she literally said a time, and he was like, "Oh, look at this! My friend had a photo taken of me on their phone, and back in 2013, and it showed the timestamp that the photo was taken, and it was the exact time that she apparently said he was raping her." And yeah, and he was, and then what you said something like after it came out, she was like, "Oh, it wasn't that time; it was a different time." It's like,
well, she went on about how, it was something in regards to like the sunrise. She made it sound like something where it's like, once the moon and the sun are at these exact locations. Yeah. And then she went to, it had to have happened sometime between 6:08 and 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because it's like if the sun just came up, it's either from 6 to 8. And
her whole thing was, in my conservative estimate, it probably took no more than 5 minutes and then he was done. I'm like, what? You should have just stopped long ago. I mean,
and the
fact that you're still continuing this, what the heck?
Just to he hasn't even revealed her identity, which I give him respect for that, because she's basically trying to destroy his life, and he's keeping her anonymous because he doesn't want to. Because he realizes what that could do to someone, and boy, I don't know. I'm honestly probably gonna check this guy out more after all this stuff, because he seems like a solid dude, and I don't know. I just give him props for handling everything pretty good. I mean, he's obviously very, very mad on Twitter. He has every right to be, but I think he's.
I'm mad.
Yeah, I'm mad too, and he's handling
destroy
it really
her.
Well. Yeah,
destroy everything she loves. When anybody tries to do this, and if anybody ever tried to do this to either you, me, or one of our friends or something, I don't care who you are. I will want you destroyed, because these things are incredibly serious, and how dare you try to undermine actual victims for what? What are you getting out of this?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the new 15 minutes. 15 minutes of fame.
It disgusts me. Everything about it. Even those three girls I told you about, I can't stand them.
Yeah, saying that, I just said it's like the new 15 minutes of fame. What I mean is the false accusers. The people who are accusing people who actually did stuff, that's absolutely justified. These people who are just coming up with stuff, they're just looking for the spotlight. They
need a smack in the mouth.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been talking about that horrible thing for a while. I think we should just move on from that. That's just so. Like we said, guys, that's just one little niche community in the whole gaming world. That's just fighting games, and then we brought in Chilled Chaos because that was one of the bigger stories. But yeah, this is happening like crazy, and people are
even. Go on.
I was just gonna say, people are, when it seems to be like a domino effect. When someone stands up and says this happened to me, more and more people pop up. I think that's great. I feel like people shouldn't be afraid. I mean, I know like a lot of people are afraid to come forward, and that's why when one person comes forward, everyone else gets the courage to say, yeah, this happened to me too, this happened to me too. But these are horrible things that are happening, and it gives gaming a horrible reputation.
When you have it in the gaming situation where if one person comes forward, they can easily be blacklisted or just removed from a position. It's a lot harder to do that when you have multiple people coming forth at the same time, because that's when the media takes notice. And that's when all of a sudden it goes from you have been silently removed, you're not allowed to speak on this, or we will pursue you for whatever, to there is nothing that you can do to stop this, and you need to rectify it now.
Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. But yeah, let's put a pin in that one. And
so how about those death threats being issued to Laura Bailey?
Yeah, let's move on to the next horrible thing.
Pretty much.
Oh, poor Laura
Bailey.
Bailey.
Crappy people being crappy.
Laura Bailey is a fantastic voice actress. She recently pursued, I don't know what the word is. She was Abby. She was Abby in The Last of Us 2.
I thought she did great.
She was fantastic. Abby was a good character. I didn't like some of her choices, and she was a little scary. She was a little buff, but she was awesome.
Hey,
What?
You be nice about the buffness. Her buffness is goals.
But Laura Bailey just provided the voice, whereas Ashley Johnson was the voice and the mocap for Ellie. Laura Bailey was just the voice because they actually had. I wish I had her name. They showed a picture of her, the model for Abby, and she's a powerlifter. She's this incredibly fit person.
Colleen Foch.
Okay, good. Thank you for getting that, because that's one thing too. Before we get into this, these people, and they're probably the same people who are issuing these death threats to her. They're saying like, "Oh, Abby's stature, her appearance is so fake. Oh, women don't look like that." And it's like, here's her model, dude. Like, women
Colleen
do look like that.
Colleen is amazing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. If I become a fraction of how fit she is, I feel like I would have succeeded in life. Anyways,
she's just.
She looks like a nice person.
Kudos to her. She just. It is. But she also apparently has ditched social media because she's been getting issued death threats because
it's probably from these same idiots. Her. And Laura Bailey came out, and she's done. I believe she was Kid Trunks, and she was Keiko from. I mean, this is just going back to anime super long ago. I mean, she's Kate Diaz in Gears 5. She's also part of Critical Role with Ashley Johnson, the huge D&D podcast. She posted this picture saying, "Man, I try to only post positive stuff on here, but sometimes this just gets a little overwhelming. I blacked out some of the words because, spoilers. Side note, thank you to all the people sending me positive messages to balance it out. It means more than I can say." Heart emoji. Let's go through some of these. "I'm going to kill you because you blank in The Law of Us Part 2. This person.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's about. Oh, dude, his picture's Assassin's Creed. Yeah, this guy's cool. Anyways. Oh, Jesus.
Random thing, though. Laura Bailey actually was the facial and motion capture person for Abby.
Get out of here, really? So they just use they use that person's model, like her like appearance to model them, and then
they used Colleen's body
like her
for
appearance.
The actual body model, and then they used Jocelyn Mettler, a support visual effects artist on Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, for the face model.
Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's pretty too.
Yeah. Let's get back to this. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find where you live and slaughter you for what you did to blank. Mark my effing words. I will stab you. Is another one. They're getting right to the point. Just want to say you should die. B. I don't.
Die, B.
Angry emoji.
Diabetes.
Angry emoji. Angry cursing emoji. F you. You ruined it. I hope your parents die by a hard cancer for killing my blank blank. I will find you and I will kill your kid for that. Just wait for that.
My only response to all these kids that are issuing the death threats to her, I'm glad your favorite character died.
Yeah.
You know what? I wish it happened twice.
I wish they came back as a clicker and then they died again.
I wish your favorite character literally came back as a ghost and then Abby killed him.
Abby. Yeah. Anyways. I was going to say they performed an exorcism. That was a stupid joke.
We're going to perform an exorcism and bring him back a third time.
F you, dumb Abby B. Go F yourself. That's the last one rounding it out. Horrible, horrible people. Guess what? It's a video game. I mean, yeah, video games are fantastic. And I'm one of those people. I'm absolutely one of those people who sees games as art. And I see the symbolism in games and I look way deeper than I probably should into the meaning behind games. And I think, I really appreciate the hours that people put into making these games, the actors put into voicing them and everything. At the end of the day, they're video games. At the end of the day, a fantastic piece of art in a museum is a drawing by some dude. And I know that when people look at art, they'll be like, I don't get it. And then a person next to him is like, you can't see the symbolism and the meaning in this. You disgust me. It's
I
like,
won't lie. As someone who majored in art in college, I kind of had to give you a side look like, now I know you did not just try to simplify the Renaissance by saying this is just someone's crayon drawing.
Saying, but it's like, my point is...
I know where you're coming from. It's very much, games are indeed works of art. I feel like they should stick to their own medium, Last of Us Part 2, just saying. But... The moral still stands. It's just art. It's just a story. Calm down. Jesus Christ.
It affects your life in absolutely no way. And if you actually make your life affected by something like this, you're just a sad person. And I don't know what to say to you to make it better. There's so much more to life that you need to worry about than someone dying in a video game or a show or a movie or something like that. It's I'm kind of at a loss for words for a lot of this stuff. I don't understand how these people could act like this.
Well, we saw the exact same thing happen during the Game of Thrones ending. Next thing you know, you got people who are like, Game of Thrones went from 10 out of 10 to 0 out of 10, and I want every one of the writers to die. That's what you had some people saying. You had quite a few people saying that, actually. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
You all just have really terrible lives, don't you?
People
have you ever
don't
gone
understand
outside?
That, like,
do you have friends?
One, if someone says you should die, that's a very big insult. That's someone saying that your existence does not matter. You should not be living anymore. If you're someone who has a bit of celebrity, like Laura Bailey, like Benioff, and I can't even remember the other guy's writer name. The Game of Thrones guys. If you have thousands of people coming at you and saying you don't deserve to live anymore, it amplifies the one person saying you should die. It amplifies it. And it's like she says, it could be a little overwhelming. People don't understand the gravity of these words. Just because someone that they liked in a game died, it's pathetic.
Well, the really common thread to remember is that for every 100 compliments, the one that your brain will remember is the one that was an insult.
Yeah, there's this thing called the vocal minority. You'll see, or that's a little different than what you said for the 100 compliments. You'll think of the negative one, but it's like, if I always go by this, like, you might see bad comments on something, but if someone thinks something's great, they'll probably be like, that was awesome, and continue with their life because they're a normal human being. Some people might go out of their way and contact the person and say, hey, this was amazing. It helped me. I had such a great time experience with this. If someone hates something, they're more than likely not going to be like, I hated that. I'm going to continue with my life. They're going to go on message boards. They're going to tweet at the person. They're going to make it known that they hate it, you know? So it makes it seem like there's so much more hate than there is positivity about something. My
point was how our brains naturally remember the criticisms.
Yeah. No,
our brains
that's
are our own
true.
worst enemy.
That's absolutely true. Even on little YouTube videos I made years ago, I'll think of just like the bad comments, you know, and everything like that. You know, getting criticism or constructive criticism on something, I'll always think about the bad things.
Well, not even just
true.
constructive criticism, just criticism in general. And then people, I think, because, you know, Twitter is a thing, Twitter is incredibly toxic because you have so many people where you can just post whatever, and then you have someone that just says "go die" or something like that.
Oh yeah,
and then
their avatar is just the default Twitter avatar. They could go on and say whatever they want. And
the next thing you know, someone kills himself because they were bullied, and it's oh no, who saw this coming?
Yeah.
We could have prevented it, and that's why cyberbullying is such a big deal because people say, oh, ignore words, sticks and stones, and words will never hurt me and all that stuff. That's entirely false. Words are the most powerful tool that can be used against someone.
Yeah. It's like sticks and stones hurt when you're next to a person. When you're across the internet and you're using words, you're getting inside that person's head and you're making them hurt themselves, you know?
Mental and emotional damage.
Oh yeah.
Can almost never heal. In most cases, depending on what it is. That's why trauma is such a big deal. Mm-hmm. Hit me with a stick, it'll hurt. You might even scar me, but my body's pretty resilient. Unless I get a super bad infection, I'll be fine.
My ninja reflexes will kick in and I will take down the person. But don't say something bad to me because that'll stick with me for years.
I will cry.
No, honestly.
Don't insult me. I will cry. Or I'll get mouthy.
Yeah. But yeah, these people are like...
They're pathetic.
They're
not contributing anything.
They're like cell dwellers. They don't understand what they could get out of life. So they lock themselves away. And also Last of Us 1, it was a great game. It wasn't like... It wasn't the best game ever. It was a great game. It wasn't like, I need to know, like this game is like... amazing. I need to make sure that everything happens right in this world. And oh my god, one thing was off about this one game that came out 7 years ago. It's like, dude, you're
get over yourself.
Yeah, honestly.
Move on.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just really horrible. I think Laura Bailey is awesome. I think she's funny and a great actress, and I don't think she deserves this.
No one does.
No,
literally, no one deserves this at all. Nobody who creates games or TV shows or movies nobody in general deserves death threats.
Yeah.
It's a chode move.
It's a very chode move. We should get a little sound bite and be like chode move of the week.
Well, we've got two of those now. We have the people that fake victimhood and the people issuing death threats.
Yeah.
You're both chodes, and you both deserve any negative crap that happens in your life.
Yeah.
Hot take of the week.
I agree with that. Allie's hot take. All right, let's wrap this up with some nice news so we could talk. It's the first time we're talking about something fun in this podcast.
Hooray!
Yeah, first two episodes were about the depressing Last of Us 2.
God, it's almost like we're living The Last of Us.
TV, Allie.
Yeah?
Yeah, Fallout and My Friend Pedro, of all things, are going to get TV adaptations.
Now I knew about the Fallout. I did not know about
My Friend Pedro came out, I think it was announced yesterday or the day before. Well, we'll start with Fallout because it was announced first. It's just going to be It's going to be produced for Amazon. It's going to be a Prime original with Kilter Films. Kilter Films is known for Westworld and Person of Interest, but I just know Westworld. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing more is said about that. A little teaser came out of like a TV, some old Fallout-y 50s music. It could be cool. I just don't know if it's in Bethesda's best interest right now. I don't know if, I mean, sure I'm sure they could just jump on. I don't know how involved they are with the process, or they're going to be. Fallout 76 was a hot mess. I think they should just, focus on making good games. But again, it's not like they're putting their game developers in. They're having their game developers make a TV show. It's probably just signing over their rights and everything. So, I mean, I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. Whatever. It's just more cool TV shows.
I'll try to watch it.
Yeah. It'll be cool.
I think just from the little that I do know of Westworld, I think they picked some very good people to direct, to produce, to do whatever with it.
Well, it's the writers, I believe.
Then that's even better.
Yeah, because Westworld has some very good writing.
Yeah,
that's really all we know about Fallout right now. My friend Pedro was a little shocking. It's really cool though because it's an indie developed game. It was published by Devolver Digital, but it was developed by Dead Toast Entertainment. My friend Pedro is this M-rated game. It's a side-scrolling shooter where you wake up in like a butcher shop and there's this banana talking to you, and it tells you that you got to kill these people because they're doing some messed up stuff. And it's a really flashy game. It's based on like wall running and backflipping and shooting and like skateboarding and stuff like that. I personally couldn't get into it. I don't know if
I tried.
I just tried playing it at the wrong time. I might go back and see it now that I know I'll watch the show. So I don't know. The game was, as far as I know, it was like praised. People love it. The cool thing about this though is that it is being written by Derek Kolstad, who wrote John Wick 1 and 2, and he co-wrote 3. John Wick is an amazing movie. A lot of fancy gun choreography, so I know that's like, if you're making a My Friend Pedro game, which is known for like backflipping and throwing things and shooting people while you're spinning through the air, you're going to want this guy. So it's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be a half-hour dramedy. It's going to be R-rated, so there's probably going to be a lot of gore, which is, fitting for the type of game that it is. Should be good. I don't know what outlet it's going to be on. Nothing else got really announced about it, but should be fun.
I'm going to guess Netflix.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Let's see. I'm going to say Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm going to put a $5 bet down. It's going to be Netflix.
I'm going to say, okay, yeah. And honestly, I'll just say Hulu just to see who we get closer, or who gets it.
Damn it, Hulu's going to be my second guess because I think they did Far Cry. I think Hulu was the one that had the Far Cry 30-minute movie.
Really? Because I know Far Cry was an old movie by Uwe Boll, and it was like horrible. Are you just thinking about that?
No, it was the one for Far Cry 5.
Oh, get out of here! I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's
cool.
A group of teenagers. Those wily teenagers get picked up by oh boy, I'm forgetting all their names.
John Appleseed or whatever his name is. The cult.
Their cult, yeah. They get picked up by the cult because they see them dunking people in the water. Next thing you know, they get dunked, and now they're a part of the cult.
Wow. I'll have to check that out. That's cool.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah, so do you think it's a good idea for more games to be adapted into TV shows?
Well, we all know The Witcher was adapted. Mm-hmm. We also know that The Witcher began as a book.
Yeah, and I believe the first season followed the book more so. But I mean, it obviously had elements of the show. It had the scene with the bathtub and all that stuff. So
there's Castlevania, that is an anime.
Yeah, The Last of Us is currently being adapted for HBO, which I'm actually excited to see that. I don't know if it's going to follow Joel and Ellie or if it's going to be just a different story in that universe, but that should be pretty interesting.
I forget if they had cast someone as Ellie or if they were like just saying someone would make the perfect Ellie. Personally, if they did a The Last of Us show, I think they should do it with different people.
Like different people, like not Joel and Ellie?
Definitely.
Okay. I mean, that's one thing I talked about in The Last of Us 2, our spoiler cast, was that I'm interested in seeing different stories in that universe, so that could be pretty cool.
I think they should keep Ellie and Joel to the games specifically.
Yeah.
Because you are already going through that path, but you have an entire world that you can work with, so utilize it.
Yeah, exactly.
But to your question, should they? I think it depends on the game. But I also think that due to the success of The Witcher, kind of like how Overwatch was able to make loot crates super popular, I could see this, because of The Witcher's popularity, all of a sudden developers gearing their stuff more towards movies and shows.
I really wouldn't be surprised if in the next year we see a ton more announcements of games being developed. I'm pretty sure there already is a Zelda adaptation being developed for Netflix.
Well, there already was a Zelda cartoon. Granted, it wasn't good, but it existed.
I don't know if this one's going to be a cartoon. It might be. I think this one's live action. And this is like weird because when I was in high school in like the mid 2000s, like 2004, 5, this is like stuff that you would hear rumors of, like, oh, they're making a Zelda show. It's going to have real people. And it's like, what? You really? And it's like,
my uncle told me he works at Nintendo.
You sounded like Goten there. Anyway.
I'm sorry, or is that a good thing?
No, it was good. It was cool. I like when my wife sounds like a little child.
Okay, there.
No, but...
so does Nero.
Oh, God. Anyways. No, but now it's 2020 and like all these crazy things are actually happening. Yeah, and there was just another point that I was bringing up, and is that, you know, with all these games being adapted into shows, you might run into this issue where some companies are developing a game not with the intent of making a good game, but making a story that could be adapted.
The Last of Us.
No, because like The Last
Uncharted.
of Us, they and Uncharted is being adapted into a movie. No,
basically anything Naughty Dog has created.
No, that's not my point. My point is that's
my point.
Naughty Dog made great games that people latched onto and was like, this could make a good movie, this could make a good show. My point is, like, I'm worried that people are going to develop games with the intent to be like, I don't care about this game. I want to sell this game. I want this game to be a show. I want it to be like this. The thing that makes me think of this is the recently released Ninjala for Switch. When this game got announced, I thought it was like going to be a new Splatoon, and I was like, oh, cool. This is like going to be a fun game. Oh, it's free to play. Cool. I'll check it out. The online is free to play. It's also has loot boxes, it has microtransactions, all this other stuff. They sell a story pack for $5, so I was like, sure, I'll check out the story because I don't really care about playing online. I mean, I thought there was going to be more to it than just online multiplayer, so dropped the $5, got the story, played like the first mission or two of the story and stopped because I was like, this story is so horrible. And it's just so pointless, and the world is so stupid. Obviously, it's a game for kids. It just looked fun to play. It looked like I said, Splatoon. But the game it made me feel...
This is hot garbage.
Yeah. It made me feel like the developers are like, we're going to sell this. We're going to sell this to Nickelodeon, you know? Because... the gameplay is really shallow. It's not challenging. There's not even like difficulties or anything like that. But it's like kill 3, or not even kill. It's like defeat 3 alien ninjas with your bubble gum. Oh, you did it! And you like whack them with this like foam noodle. And it's like, you did it! And then there's like a cutscene with your grandpa, and you're like this little kid ninja, and you're like, I'm tired. I don't want to be a ninja. And the grandpa's like, but your dad was the greatest ninja. And then you're like, My dad was a ninja? Okay, I'll be the best ninja with my
Hooray, Pio Pueso.
with my bubble gum. Like bubble gum is their gimmick. They like they like blow bubble gum bubbles at their enemies and stuff. And I'm like, this is a Nickelodeon show. And you know, I'm just want to put it here. I really think that this show is going to end up on Nickelodeon. And if it happens in the future, I am absolutely going to clip this and post it online. But
well, I think the one thing that video game developers have shown is that once one thing shows signs of its success, they all universally latch onto it like moths to a flame.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Battle Royale.
Once again, Battle Royale, but even before that, loot crates.
Oh, yeah.
Like, literally, as soon as Overwatch was able to show that it's an option, Activision leached onto that. EA, holy crap. Mm-hmm. And you can still see the effects. I mean, the only reason why loot crates are now really being an issue is because of EA's whole actual legal stuff that occurred because of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Mm-hmm. Because the game was complete and utter trash, because they made it to where the only real way that you could even experience it, for the most part, was by paying through loot crates.
Yeah.
It's like, once one of them comes up with an idea to do something slightly different, they all just... They all have to get involved. Every single one of them. And this is... They did the same thing with open world games. They did the same thing when Skyrim came out, and then everybody was making... either Tundra-based games or trying to get the biggest world in it. It's just, it's kind of ridiculous.
Boy, yeah.
I would be amazed if they did not pretty much every single major studio have their own either movie or show in some capacity.
I really, just a side note, I hate that trend of trying to make the biggest world. I don't have time to do that. I have a full-time job and I'm trying to do all this crap on the side. I don't have time to walk a map that's literally the size of an actual state. It's ridiculous.
Well, did you actually hear that in response to that, a Sony CEO or something, some bigwig at Sony had mentioned that game prices either need to increase or the quality of games or the length of games need to decrease.
Well,
and it's like, please make them smaller. Just please. I can't keep wasting 200 hours on a game.
The people who grew up with these games are still playing your games, but they also have lives and children and families and jobs. They still want to enjoy your games. They can't. The people who can are the people who go on and threaten Laura Bailey to kill herself. So it's like, decide who you want to make games for, dog. You know? I want to be able to hang out with my wife and my dogs and still play all of Red Dead Redemption 2, and I just can't.
Oh, yeah, I don't think you even got past the first chapter in that game.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I gave up on, because it was just like, I just don't have time for it. I can't.
When I first played The Witcher 3, I had to stop because I saw how big the map was once I, unlocked the full thing, and I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah. It's tough. We got sidetracked there. But
speaking of the price of games increasing, did you see that the NBK 21, the recommended retail price is $70? I don't know what it is.
NBK 21.
I don't know.
You picking up that NBK 21, baby?
I just think with all the value packed in this game, that in order to really appreciate the value, we just gotta charge more. The value that we've provided, oh boy, you ain't gonna believe these sweat drops. It's worth the whole entire $70. I won't lie, I saw the clip that I think Sony posted with this dude just having some sweat drip down his face, and I was like, why it looks so thick? Why he's got such thick sweat?
You
guys globbing on down on his face.
You guys watching the MBK game tonight? They got Sheck starting with Lebron gems.
Shut up before I punch you.
It's NBA 2K21. And
oh, because the K is for 2000.
And it's also developed by 2K. And
that's less impressive and clever.
And they're setting their price at $70, but I don't know if that's going to be the new standard for games, or if they're just up their own butt and thinking that their games are worth that much, and that people who, I mean, that's one thing is the 2K games, they have a diehard fan base. It's Madden 2K, the sports game fans are like they're ride or die for those games. They love their sports games. So I don't know if they think that their fan base will just pay that for it, or if it's, you know, they just went a little early announcing the pricing for next gen games. I'm not too sure.
You know, it's going to be really interesting to see about this, though.
What?
Next gen, when they do the whole free games for the month, where it's like, hey, you want some of your NBLK 20 for free? It came out 2 months ago, but it's for free now.
Yeah.
And then I'm just picturing, like, wow, you just wasted $70 on something that's free now.
Well, that's
especially
what,
Xbox.
Sony just did that with, I think they were like 10 years of PlayStation Plus. Have I almost said NBK. Have 2K20 for free. And like a month ago, 2K20 was on sale for $3. I bought it on my Switch for $3.
You know what the kids really want in order to celebrate our 10th year anniversary where they had to pay for their services? Some Tomb Raider and basketball. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
That was my version of an air horn. And I'm not good at sound effects.
So many clickbait articles, they were like, Sony's not giving you just 2 games. They're giving you an amazing 3rd game. You won't believe this 3rd game. And I'm sure it was, I can't speak for the game, but it was some kind of like indie game. It was called like Eliza or something. It's not like
I don't think it would have been worth it for a 10th year anniversary.
It was clickbait, absolutely, and it was like, yeah.
You guys, look at how much we care about our fans. We're giving you old ass games. Thank you. I guess.
That's already
you're
with,
welcome.
Like, that's already with like. I think Game Pass is amazing. It's probably one of the best things that Xbox has ever done. Games with gold is always lacking, and I mean I know they're free games and stuff, but I think the pricing is always so weird. It's like, collect your $250 worth of games. And it's like, yeah, that's what you price them at on your store. But if I go into Best Buy, I could get this game for like $15. You know, it's not a $40 game.
You know, it would have been a really actual bang for your buck game to have had for the 10-year anniversary. I'm gonna give you 2 suggestions right here, right now. Hear me out.
It's Jak and Daxter.
Okay, well, no, because that's actually an old game. So I was actually going to say God of War.
Yeah.
And either Death Stranding or Days Gone.
That would have been good. For the,
you know what? Actually, I am going to lean more towards Days Gone because Death Stranding is coming out on PC in 2 weeks, something like that. I think, no, it might actually be the end of July, but have your 2 games that are Sony exclusives.
Yeah.
And be like, you know what, as our 10-year anniversary, have this 10 out of 10 game and this, I don't know, Sony exclusive. It wasn't bad.
No, yeah. All right, so that's about all we got for this week. Had a lot of downs, but then we had some ups at the end. So we had some nice gaming conversation.
Well, I think it's been a pretty dark time in gaming recently, but it's been a pretty dark time in general because 2020's been a thing. Hopefully next week there's some better news.
Yeah, and you know we're not gonna strictly keep it to news. We could always talk about whatever pops up, you know. So we'll see what has in we'll see what's in store for us. You did give us that gem of NBK. I'll never forget that.
Shut up. Anyway, what games have you been playing?
Oh God, I don't even know. I started playing Smash Bros again just a little bit because the new DLC character came out. I'm trying to get back into that because I I'm definitely not as good as I used to be in Smash. Playing a little bit of Call of Duty, just shooting people. Not too much. Really not too much, you know? What about you?
So, the game I have been playing this week has been South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it during the Steam summer sale.
Man, I haven't bought anything on the Steam Summer Sale yet. I should just buy something.
I realized I did the bad thing by going down that rabbit hole because I'm just like, oh, I want to buy this one. I want to buy that one. Ooh, but that's a lot of money still.
I'm definitely going to pick up SpongeBob SquarePants Rehydrated because I played that when I was a kid. I had it on GameCube, and I've been meaning to play it because after Last of Us 2, I just want a game where I just like sit and I just collect crap and I just look at the colors on the screen and turn my brain off. And
do you want that to be the next game that we do for for next week so that we finally have a podcast that isn't about doom and gloom?
Oh God, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
I could definitely play it this week. Actually, there might not be a podcast next week because I do have a side job that I have to do next weekend.
That's not true. We'll just record earlier.
Yeah, but then I still gotta edit it. Okay. We'll just record it during the week. You guys will get your podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll see where SpongeBob leads us. I'll follow him to the ends of the earth.
All right, SpongeBob it is.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We're Till Death Do We Play on Instagram, and I believe we're TDWP Podcast on Twitter.
Yep.
And we also have a Facebook page. It's just Till Death Do We Play. Please check us out. We post our highlights there. Post our commentaries. Allie's doing something really cool with our Instagram where she has these little verdicts made up for The Last of Us 2. So we're getting more into posting content that's not just highlights from the podcast. We're actually getting our words and our thoughts and our
and we got stickers.
Artistic ability out there. Thank you to Allie for that. Yeah, we do. We do have cool stickers. So maybe we'll do like a giveaway or something. You know, how about this? We'll feel this out. If anyone, maybe if anyone wants to go hop on that Twitter and use the hashtag TDDWP podcast, maybe we'll pick someone and send them a sticker.
They look really cool. I won't lie.
They're holographic. It's just our logo. It's just our logo, but it's holographic, like a first edition Charizard.
Also, if you listen on iTunes, Apple Podcast, hey, what's good? Leave a review. We would love to actually hear some written ones. Those are pretty choice. Yeah,
we're getting some reviews there. We're getting some ratings. We have some cool 5-star ratings. But write some stuff.
You should be one of them.
Write some stuff down. Let us know what you think. And that's about it, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.